Have you ever pondered the depths of darkness and disturbing thoughts that can reside within the mind of a teenager? In February of 2023, a 16-year-old boy faced trial as an adult and received a life sentence in prison. The reason behind this severe punishment traces back to an unimaginable act committed by the same individual when he was just 14 years old. The young man, known as Aiden Fucci, was the mastermind and perpetrator of a heinous, cruel, and utterly inhumane murder. The victim, a 13-year-old teenager, vanished without a trace during the early hours of May 9th, 2021, which just so happened to be Mother's Day. This event would go down in history as one of Florida's most horrific incidents, serving as a stark reminder that human wickedness can manifest itself in even the most unexpected places. Welcome to Crime Scene Confidential. In this documentary, we'll cover the case of Aiden Fucci, the teenage monster responsible for the gruesome act involving 114 stab wounds. Two years after the crime took place, an important moment unfolded during the sentencing hearing for the teenage killer. A young woman meticulously dropped small aquamarine stones into a container for nearly 2 minutes, capturing the attention of the judge, jury, and spectators. 1 stone for each of the 114 stab wounds my sister endured, stated Alexis Bailey, the victim's older sister. This heart-wrenching testimony marked only the beginning of a day-long trial, where the victim's grieving family presented numerous accounts of pain and suffering caused by one of the most depraved, twisted, and shocking criminals in recent history. On Sunday, May 9th, 2021, at 10 a.m., Tristyn Bailey, the youngest of 5 siblings and the daughter of Forrest and Stacy Bailey, was reported missing by her concerned family members as they had become worried about her prolonged absence. That day, Tristyn and her siblings had planned to surprise their mother, Stacy, with a special breakfast in celebration of Mother's Day. Just before 10 a.m., Sophia, one of Tristyn's sisters, began preparing breakfast, but Forrest, the girl's father, started sensing that something was amiss. The previous night, Tristyn had attended a small gathering with friends at a classmate's house, a few blocks away from her home, which had already caused concern for her parents. Noticing that their daughter was taking an unusually long time to return, Forrest and Stacy put together a list of names of Tristyn's schoolmates who could have been at the party. They promptly filed an Amber Alert. According to the missing persons report, Tristyn, a 13-year-old girl, was last seen in the vicinity of the 700 block of North Durbin Parkway in northwest St. Johns County, Florida, around 1:30 a.m. She was wearing a cheerleading skirt and a dark shirt. The authorities utilized various resources, including drones, helicopters, and police dogs, in their search efforts. Despite their extensive endeavors, they were still unable to locate Tristyn. Relying on the list provided by the girl's parents, the police officers commenced interviews with Tristyn's classmates who might possess information regarding her disappearance. Among the names, one particular individual grabbed their attention: Aiden Fucci. Aiden Fucci, just 14 years old at the time, attended Patriot Oaks Academy alongside Tristyn. He was not only a classmate, but also a close friend of hers. Aiden, with his seemingly calm and laid-back demeanor, had never displayed any indications of being a threat, none that had been taken seriously at least, until it was too late. Right from the start, Aiden's behavior during the investigation seemed peculiar and out of character. His recollection of events did not align with those provided by his fellow classmates, who claimed that Aiden and Tristyn had left together shortly after the party had ended, given that they lived in the same neighborhood. Aiden vehemently denied this account. However, unlike most of the other cases, the teenager displayed no signs of nervousness or worry throughout. As evidence, when the police officers held him for further questioning, Aiden took a selfie, flashing a peace sign with his fingers and using the patrol car's glass as a makeshift mirror. Along with the selfie, he added the caption, "Hey guys, has anyone seen Tristyn lately?" Within moments, he uploaded a video where he appeared entirely calm and relaxed inside the patrol car, joking about the girl's whereabouts and whether anyone had spotted her.
We're having fun in a f***ing cop car.
Yep.
Tristyn.
What's up, guys?
Tristyn, if you f***ing walk out the damn... When you see this in a month...
Once Aiden was in custody, the police officers began requesting surveillance footage from neighbors in hopes of finding any clues regarding the girl's location. Shortly after, Tristyn's body was discovered in the woods next to a pond not far from Aiden Fucci's residence. She had suffered from 114 stab wounds. Following that, Aiden underwent extensive questioning by the police officers, and during these interrogations, the boy consistently altered his version of events. One of the acquaintances who had been previously interviewed by police had mentioned that Aiden and Tristyn had left his house where the party was held at 1 a.m. Aiden confirmed that this was true, asserting that he and Tristyn had departed from the party together. But when they arrived on the street where Tristyn resided, she bid him farewell and proceeded home alone. However, when the police reviewed the security footage, they uncovered further inconsistencies. The footage showed Tristyn and Aiden walking together down the street around 1:45 a.m., but not a single shot showed the girl walking alone. Instead, it was Aiden who appeared in the video arriving home at 3:30 in the morning. Consequently, the police officers placed him in the patrol car and drove him around the streets, urging him to disclose their whereabouts. Cornered, Aiden changed his story, asserting that Tristyn had not departed, and instead, they aimlessly wandered together. They strolled along the North Darwin Parkway, and upon reaching Leadhold Drive, Tristyn unexpectedly made inappropriate advances towards him. He angrily pushed her, causing her to fall to the ground, hit her head, and in a panic, he fled. The next day, Monday, May 10, 2021, Aiden was taken into custody on a charge of second-degree murder. Investigators had gathered a significant amount of evidence against him. The primary piece of evidence was a sighting of two individuals who bore a striking resemblance to Aiden and Tristyn, walking together on the opposite side of Stone Drive at approximately 1:45 a.m. Aiden was wearing a hooded sweatshirt, shorts, and white shoes with a black Nike logo. Tristyn, the girl next to him, was wearing pants and a black shirt. Both subjects continued walking without incident. However, 45 minutes later, the surveillance cameras only recorded the male figure returning with a pair of shoes. The footage from Aiden's house showed him arriving home at 3:30 a.m., still wearing the same pair of shoes seen in the earlier video. Aiden admitted to being the person in the video, but claimed to have removed the shoes due to discomfort. He pleaded not guilty. Investigators then obtained a search warrant to enter Fucci's bedroom. Inside, they discovered wet shoes and blood-stained clothing, as well as traces of blood and dirt in the drain next to the bathroom sink. Wet jeans were found in a laundry basket, along with a knife sheath. In addition, while searching for evidence, investigators found a knife with a broken tip at the bottom of the pond near where the girl's body was discovered. Forensic tests later confirmed that the tip of the knife was embedded in the victim's scalp. As the investigation widened and the number of witnesses grew, several indicators pointed to something amiss with Aiden, raising concerns that a serious incident was on the horizon. In particular, Aiden's closest friend and girlfriend testified to the boy's disturbing fascination with knives. The girlfriend recounted disturbing experiences in which Aiden would sneak up behind them, hug them playfully, then pull out one of his knives and laugh as he held it across their throats. It seemed like a twisted game to him. Investigators were puzzled by the accounts and inquired about Aiden's access to weapons. His girlfriend confirmed that he owned not one, but two knives, which he affectionately called Poker and Picker. Aiden was somewhat secretive about them, yet simultaneously took pride in showing them off to almost everyone he met. One of Aiden's cousins said that on one occasion, Aiden calmly confided in him that he believed that he would end up in prison at some point in his life. He even mentioned that it might be for taking someone's life. What made this revelation even more disturbing was not only the content of his words, but the nonchalant and indifferent tone in which he delivered them, as if they had no real meaning. Aiden's girlfriend also revealed that he had shared a twisted fantasy with her about taking someone into the woods and brutally stabbing them to death. She realized that she may have come dangerously close to sharing Tristyn's fate when, just days before the tragedy, Aiden persistently urged her to accompany him to the party he had been seen leaving with Tristyn. When she explained that she couldn't go because of her parents' refusal, Aiden became furious, but his anger didn't stop him from pressuring her to join him. These warning signs and peculiar behaviors from Aiden were initially dismissed as mere jokes and attention-seeking comments, but the reality was far from that. Autopsies performed on little Tristyn's body revealed over 49 defensive wounds, indicating the horrific struggle she had endured. Likewise, the examination found cuts on the young killer's hands and distinct scratches on his shoulder. As a result, Aiden's charges were quickly upgraded to first-degree murder, and he was tried as an adult. On May 28, 2021, Aiden Fucci faced his first hearing, where he was tried as an adult and charged with first-degree murder. The judge explained to him that in the state of Florida, a crime of this nature, committed with such premeditation, has only two possible outcomes: life imprisonment or the death penalty. Because Aiden was a minor at the time of the heinous crime, the death penalty did not apply. The judge denied him bail, and on June 3, 2021, the defense proclaimed their client's innocence and denied all charges. One of the most surprising developments in this case happened on June 5, 2021, just 2 days after the defense claimed Aiden's innocence. Crystal Smith, Aiden's mother, was arrested on suspicion of tampering with evidence during the investigation. As it turned out, during the search of the Fucci's home, investigators stumbled upon a controversial revelation while reviewing security footage. The cameras captured the moment when, just before officers arrived at the house, Aiden's mother rushed into her son's bedroom and emerged with a pair of his clothes, specifically a pair of jeans, which she promptly seized and vigorously washed in the sink. After watching this video, investigators began to suspect that Crystal had noticed signs of blood on her son's pants and had washed them in an attempt to protect him. Although the woman was taken into custody on charges of tampering with evidence in a police investigation, she was released on July 23, 2021, nearly a month later, after pleading not guilty to the charges. She claimed that she had washed the clothes as usual and had no knowledge of any bloodstains or evidence on her son's clothes. Soon after, however, investigators announced that traces of Tristyn Bailey's DNA were found on both the boy's pants and the pipes in the same sink. On September 21, 2021, Aiden attended his second hearing with a new strategy for acquittal. This time, the previously composed, controlled, and self-aware boy began behaving oddly during the hearing and subsequent interrogations. He swayed back and forth in his seat, stared vacantly, and spoke incoherent words, seemingly attempting to convey that he had suffered from some sort of psychological or psychiatric issue. A panel of psychiatrists later assessed Aiden and determined that he was mentally sound, fully capable of comprehending the consequences of his actions, and thus competent to stand trial. Subsequently, on February 6, 2023, during a jury selection hearing, after nearly a year of adamantly asserting his impossible innocence to the world, Aiden slightly altered the course of the trial by pleading guilty to all the crimes he was accused of. Presumably, he did so to avoid a life sentence and, as suspected, received a significantly reduced 40-year sentence based on his attorney's recommendation. Fucci's effort to escape his fate extended beyond accepting his guilt. On March 12, 2023, he composed a letter of apology to Tristyn Bailey's family members. Aiden's letter contained the following message: "My name is Aiden Fucci. I am 16 years old. First off, I want to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the pain I caused to the Bailey family. I'm sorry to the friends, brothers, sister, mom, dad, and any other family relatives. I'm sorry that you didn't get to know her that long. You did not have any long relationships with Tristyn, and for that I'm sorry. For the community, I'm sorry I brought all this pain on everybody, and I'm sorry And I did know my apology will not fix anything or bring her back, but I hope it helped in some way. But the boy's letter did not have the desired effect. Forrest Bailey, the girl's father, responded to the letter with these words: "I want to be clear, your insincere apology is not accepted. At no point in time have I seen any remorse." It's worth noting that Aiden Fucci's apology focused primarily on the victim's family members and the potential pain he may have caused them, but he never mentioned Tristyn or gave any indication that he would apologize to her if given the chance. The majority of his letter consisted of empty words, pretending to be heartfelt, that were directed at her parents and relatives. He then spoke towards his own family with the following sentiments: "And for my dad, I'm sorry that he had a bad spot in his work because of me," Fucci wrote. "I miss being outdoors with my dad and brothers. I miss the fun we had, like four-wheeling, paintballing, going on the long car trips. Dad, you made things fun, like the tarp to the four-wheeler so we could slide on the tarp behind. Dad, you are special because you made fun out of nothing. Love you. To my mom, I want to send my apologies as well. I'm sorry that she had to move her house because people were sending threats to the house of my family, and that my little brother and sister had to change schools because of me. Mom, now I miss your lemon pepper chicken. I miss your hugs. I miss you. The longer I'm in here, the more I forget, the more memories I lose. I'll never forget you love me." When Aiden Fucci's trial eventually commenced, Alexis Bailey, the elder sister of the late Tristyn, did more than just release the 114 aquamarine heart-shaped stones representing the stab wounds inflicted upon her younger sister. She also confronted Aiden directly.
"This jar now holds 114 stones, one for each of the 114 stab wounds that my sister had to endure. It was 1 hour and 42 minutes between when my sister was last seen and when Aiden Fucci was next seen, running out of the woods holding his shoes because his feet hurt. It's funny that such a simple statement can bring such anger. Aiden Fucci could show compassion for his sore feet, yet had nothing to leave for my beautiful sister. The number of questions I have for Aiden Fucci surrounding that night plague my mind. Did she see you coming at her with the knife? Or did you stab her while she wasn't paying attention? Did she scream out for help? Or was she paralyzed with agony? Did she cry for my mother? Did she beg you to stop? Did you hear her lungs gargling with blood? Or did you see it in her face when she realized she could no longer breathe due to her collapsed lungs? What were her last words? Did you stay to watch her die? Or did you leave her there in agonizing pain as you ran away? How long did she suffer? Did you watch the life leave her eyes? Do you know the answer to any of these questions? Or were you too caught up in the thrill of the kill?
Also present in the courtroom were more of the victim's siblings, as well as Tristyn's closest friend, who expressed her devastation and emotional breakdown at the loss of her best friend. Meanwhile, Aiden's grandmother stood on the other side, acknowledging the gruesome nature of her grandson's actions, but reaffirming her belief in the existence of goodness within him. She prayed and pleaded that the judge would not sentence him to a life in prison, and begged that the judge give him an opportunity to reform and strive for a normal life one day. Despite his grandmother's pleas and the defense's efforts to demonstrate Aiden's mental incapacity to understand the consequences of his actions or the significant family challenges he faced, justice ultimately prevailed. Testimony from his teachers revealed a volatile, defiant, and undisciplined young man who failed to acknowledge his own mistakes, consistently placing blame on others and demonstrating a lack of respect for authority figures. Investigations revealed his drug abuse, his possessions of weapons, and the fact that the heinous crime committed against the unsuspecting Tristyn, someone who trusted him, was long in the making and harbored in his twisted mind. As a result, on March 24, 2023, at the age of 16, Aiden Fucci, the perpetrator of the 114 stab wounds, was sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison. If this case piqued your interest and you want more stories like this, please subscribe to our channel for more content. And always remember, stay alert, be vigilant, and be aware of your surroundings.